Hello guys and welcome back to League One predictions. Just because it's the international break and there's no Premier League or Championship doesn't mean there's no League One. We've still got 7 big games to predict this week in the 3rd division of English football, and I'm joined as always by the sensational Benjamin Bloom. How are you?
No international breaks for us. We turn up every week, Matt. You can always get a good open goal. You know, there's not really an international break going on. There's some damn good football, as we're about to discuss with the League One predictions. I've had a coffee. I'm a bit hyper.
There are some big games, especially at the top. We've got a lot to talk about. Before we get into last week's scores, and like I said, there's only 7 games to talk about this week. Let's just quickly do the plugs, guys. Be sure to support us by dropping a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to both Matt SB and Benjamin Bloom. Hit the subscribe button here and check out the first link in the description where you can check out the Premier League Check-In podcast coming soon on Benjamin Bloom's channel, where we can talk about that bottom 3. Ben, League One from last time. In good news, you beat me again. It was Ben 6, Matt 3. It's looking difficult for me to catch up now with only 10 games to go. Fair play.
What's the aggregate?
You're 9 points ahead. 264, 273.
You know what's going to happen? You know, round 46 and round 45, when it just gets ridiculous, I reckon you're going to get a couple of 4-pointers in there because we're just going to get stupid, beachy, goalie games, aren't we? So, but no, I'm very humbled to be in the lead. I'm getting obliterated by Sam Parkin on Championship. How are you doing against Sophie?
I'm winning in both Prem and Championship, so I'll take that.
Well, okay, I'll take back all my humble behaviour. You absolutely deserve to be beaten in this one.
Yeah.
She normally beats you, doesn't she?
Oh, hang on a minute, Ben. Yeah, I guess, but
yeah, that was what you told me. I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I tell you what. She, I think she did beat me last season, but I lost track of the scores halfway through the season, and she was winning at that point. So,
just conveniently, yeah.
Yeah, conveniently, I lost my notes. Yeah. Actually, I've lost my League One notes, Ben.
I'm 9 ahead.
So, Ben, quickly, the scores from last time. Let's just quickly touch on those before we get into this week's games. At the top of the table, Birmingham didn't win. They drew with Northampton. That's only 2 wins in 4, Ben.
Disgusting. They're falling off a cliff, Birmingham. They're bottling it. They're bottling the title. Just 106 points now. Pathetic, Birmingham. What are you doing?
So we did the maths.
Just for the avoidance of doubt, there was sarcasm involved in that, Birmingham fans, before you start crying in the comments, yeah?
Yeah, we've already started getting ready to have Birmingham City in our Championship predictions next season, haven't we, Ben? Yeah, they are flying at the top, but the race for second got intense, Ben. Wrexham beat Wycombe 1-0. And what's quite interesting is Wycombe's game in hand is tonight. They are 3 points behind Wrexham. They really need to level it up.
And Matt, you were just telling me the fixtures for the remainder, and we've got a giant game to predict as well. If Wrexham get through this weekend, I'm changing my mind and I'm making them not even favourites, Matt. I think looking at the fixtures, pretty hot favourites. This could be decisive this week. Wycombe needs something at Rotherham tonight, though, mate.
They certainly do. They certainly do. The playoff race is wide open as well, Ben. We saw both Lincoln and managerless Huddersfield hitting 5 goals over the weekend. And down at the bottom 3 do look done, don't they? You can put a fork in them. Burton maybe still have a chance. They did win at the weekend. With all that said, let's get into the predictions for this week, Ben. And Tuesday night, tonight, you can go first for Rotherham versus Wycombe.
I'm going to back Wycombe to get the win, Matt, not just because we love drama and we're massive drama queens, you and I, which is true, but that's not the reason I'm backing them. I do think you're going to get the bounce back, but it's concerning, isn't it, how spotty their form is at the moment. We had them pegged as a 2 points per game side, and they were significantly above it after that incredible winning streak. They're at 68 now, which is, 4 points off the 2 per game. So it feels more like mid-80s now for Wycombe, and they need a bit of a streak going. Rotherham have kind of befuddled us all season, haven't they? So I'm not factoring in Rotherham, apologies Millers fans, into my prediction. This is all about Wycombe. I think they're going to go there, they're going to get a win, and they go Rotherham 1, Wycombe 2.
Right, that's interesting. Rotherham, Ben, definitely on the beach, aren't they? You can see Steve Evans there with his top off, sunglasses on, and 15 points ahead of the bottom four, 16 points off the playoffs. They are properly lodged in the middle, and they take on Wycombe, who obviously you've just touched on having so much to play for. Wycombe are actually top of the away table, Ben. They've actually picked up more points on the road than Birmingham, but they haven't won in their last 4 away games now. And I wonder, could they come unstuck here? Could Steve Evans just sneak something and deny them?
Mate, Steve Evans could beat anybody on his day. We know he can.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just going to back Wycombe as well. I've gone for the Rotherham 0, Wycombe 1. Just going to grind it out, I reckon. But there you go. We're both going for drama, both going for Wycombe to get the win. Do let us know your thoughts, Rotherham and Wycombe fans. Then we'll move on to Saturday's games. I'm up first for Barnsley versus Cambridge.
Can I stop you straight away, Matt? Did you hear Neil Harris's post-match interview after Cambridge's game at the weekend?
No, I saw they lost, but no.
Absolutely destroys. He goes in properly two-footed, talking about references on their CVs with relegations and have they got enough heart. I just wanted your take on, does that work? What is that going to do much good? What do you think of the psychology of doing that 9 games out? Love Neil Harris, by the way, but
no, I do.
We'll go one of two ways.
Yeah, he's a fighter. I think it's his last roll of the dice. I was just about to say, you look at how far away they are now. They have to perform like a top 6 team, top 10 team to get out of this, Ben. That bottom 3 are really cut adrift. The teams above the bottom 4 are picking up quite a few points at the moment. And maybe that's what he's doing. It's a roll of the dice. He wants a reaction. It does feel like a game Cambridge could get something from because Barnsley are unpredictable, but I might just go for the favourites. I know Barnsley lost to Mansfield, Ben. That was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? I'll go Barnsley 2, Cambridge 1, and that is the final nail in the Cambridge coffin.
Yeah, I'm going to double you up, matey. So that's the scribble. So I'm going to take a 2-0 to Barnsley. Just quickly, Matt, do we get to talk about Mansfield today? I don't think we do. We need to give them some flowers after hammering them for the last 11 weeks or whatever. Anything to say to the Mansfield fans, Matt?
Well done. Apologies. But then, to be honest, Ben, yeah, they have been on a dreadful run. That's probably one of the worst runs we've seen for a League One team this season. All of a sudden, yeah, they're back up to 15th place now and only 17 points off the playoffs, Ben. So we will see.
Oh, you're naughty, you are.
Sorry. On to the next one, Ben. I want to say a big game down at the bottom, but I'm not sure if it is. It's Crawley Town versus Bristol Rovers. We need a Crawley win to make anything of this. But are you going for it?
Well, Lincoln beat Bristol Rovers 5-0 after those back-to-back wins where Rovers beat Huddersfield and Bolton. Can we play the home or away card here and say that Bristol Rovers are not playing at home, therefore Crawley have some kind of chance? But no, it's just not working for Crawley at the moment. I'm going to back an unhelpful draw, which is actually not an unhelpful draw because Bristol Rovers just need to be arm's length. Well, actually, to be fair, Matt, Burton are capable of throwing out 3 wins in 4 at some point, aren't they?
I think Burton are trying to keep this fight going, aren't they?
It's just all of a sudden crept up on us, that 6-point gap, and also they're miles over the point per game, aren't they? 20th upwards. Strangely as well for League One, we normally have someone's normally played like 4 games fewer at this point, and we have massive disparity. And well done, EFL. Everyone's played the same amount of games, haven't they? I'm procrastinating, Matt. I'll go unhelpful. 1-1.
Oh. I think there might be a winner, Ben. I think Crawley are going to have to gamble. Say if it's 1-1 or 0-0 going into the final few minutes, they know a draw's not really going to do anything for them, and it could work against them. And that's what I'm going with. I'm actually going to back Bristol Rovers. Okay. I mean, it's difficult, this, Ben. They both come into this on the back of
bloody love Bristol Rovers, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Up the gas, up the gas. That massive club and fan base. But the thing is, Ben, they both come into this on the back of conceding 5 goals. So I'm not really sure what to say. I mean, Crawley, could you say they played Huddersfield at the worst time possible? Maybe after just sacking the manager.
Didn't one of us call the no manager bounce?
We both backed Huddersfield, yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't get 5-1.
Matt, quickly, I've just got an answer to your question. The two longest winless streaks in League One this season, you are correct. Mansfield's 13 and Burton have a 13. Can't remember exactly when they did it. It's not actually that many times not hard to find a 13-game streak after 36 games played. Anyway, your prediction, Matt, sorry.
Yeah, I think Burton's was at the start of the season because they have actually been improving recently, haven't they? But I'm going Crawley 0, Bristol Rovers 1 as my prediction, which might sort of finally shake off Crawley and be the final nail in their coffin. I know they're not going to be mathematically down for a few more weeks, but in theory, they would be. Apologies, Crawley fans. Ben, I am up first for Lincoln City versus Exeter City. Not quite beach ball for Exeter. We think it probably is for Lincoln, but Exeter, one more win, a couple of draws, gets them over the line, do we think? Depends what Burton do, but then there's a lot of traffic as well, isn't there, for Exeter to be concerned.
You're right, Matt. Just quickly, first 13 games of the season, Burton. Well done. You've been right twice in a row, mate. What is going on today?
Don't sound too surprised, Ben. Well, to be honest, based on my predictions, I'm not always right. Let's hope this one's right. I'm going to go for Lincoln, Ben. On the back of that win at the weekend, I'm going to back them 2-0 this time.
Mate, I'm exactly on the same page as you there. I think they're going to be high as a kite, to quote another Elton John lyric for you from the green room earlier. No one heard that, so it's an irrelevant reference, isn't it? Bad news and irrelevant news. Bad news for Exeter fans, yeah. So you're taking the 2. Should we go for them to keep being goalie, being to smash 5 in? 3-1. Lincoln 3, Exeter 1.
There you go. I quite like that. Took the goals in there, Ben. So both back in Lincoln City. As I say, for Lincoln, I don't know. I mean, can you finish top 10? Is that realistic? Yeah, I think that's realistic, isn't it? A realistic end to the season.
I think it's par, isn't it? They should be around there, shouldn't they?
Do you remember, Ben? Around Christmas time, we were quite excited about.
We like them, yeah. Well, a lot of people pre-season were like, "Oh, look at Lincoln to get in the playoffs." Yeah,
they're 12 points off it now, aren't they? So that's probably too much. Ben, you're up first for Northampton v Blackpool. This is tricky.
Well, do we need to give Northampton some kind of medal for not losing to Birmingham? So
twice this season.
Well, and I've got to say, fair play to Kevin Nolan, because we both said that when John Brady went out of there. That's a club punching above their weight that have had the same manager for ages and ages. This could go south. And as much as we want some jeopardy, I need 2 wins in 9 games, and they're pretty well safe, aren't they? Northampton. So Blackpool lost. Finally, Orient won, didn't they, and beat Blackpool. I've been enjoying Blackpool lately. You love a draw on Blackpool, don't you? But there hasn't been only one draw in the last 6. Northampton fans are going to think I'm disrespectful here because after that good result. But I am going to back Blackpool for the away. Let's go Northampton 0, Blackpool 1.
I'm actually going to flip you there, Ben. I'm going to go Northampton 1, Blackpool 0.
No, I am glad. I think the Northampton fans deserve that, to be fair.
Yeah, I was thinking we might end up going for a draw on this one because obviously you got Steve Deuce at Blackpool. They've had,
why don't I remember that? It just makes me laugh every time. It's so juvenile.
Sorry. They've had 15 draws. I think joint second for most draws is Northampton with 12. They've drawn 3 of their last 4, actually. 4 unbeaten. So it could be a draw, but we're both not going for it. We've got the 1-0 Blackpool, and I will go 1-0 Northampton. Share your thoughts, Cobblers fans and Tangerines fans. Peterborough v Charlton, Ben. Both with quite a bit to play for. Peterborough, 6 points above the drop. They could do with a few more points. Obviously, they want to keep the momentum going because they've got the Wembley final coming soon. Charlton Athletic, could they still crash that top 2 race? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. If they win this, we'll keep an eye on Wrexham's result. I'm going to go for Charlton 1-0, Ben.
That's a scribble. Yeah, I was going to go the same way. This is really weird, Matt, because we would have been expecting at this time of the season, Peterborough are actually in good form, aren't they? I think they're sort of 6 undefeated. We would have been expecting this to be a really kind of competitive one. But I just feel with the disparity in the table, and do you know what? You're actually right. If you do get... I mean, we're going to talk about Wrexham and their fixtures in a minute. If you do get a slip, and spoiler alert, Wrexham have got to play Stockport, haven't they? But Charlton could get in there. Let me just do a bit of jiggery pokery because I want to give you some data here, Matt. Wow. Since January the 21st, Charlton have scored 32 points in 13 games. And that is 5 more than even Birmingham and 8 more than Stockport, who are third in that. To be fair, they've played a game more than a lot of those. But, sometimes, Matt, I get a bit fed up of people using like 6-game and 4-game form tables. When it's a 13-game form table, you're like, there's a lot of meat on the bone there. You've taken the 1-0, mate. So I'll go 2-1 because we like both teams to score, and I think we're agreeing on a narrow Charlton victory.
Yeah, that's it. Nathan Jones just gets it over the line, doesn't he? And then let's move on to it, Ben. The final game, it's another massive one here. Wrexham versus Stockport. So just touching on last week, Ben, Wrexham obviously beat Wycombe. What a win. We'll say fair play. We both didn't call it. We touched on obviously how good they've been and their ability to win these big high-pressure games, and they did late on. What did you touch on? It was a Fletcher assist as well, wasn't it?
Well, and Matt, we've not trusted them away from home, though, have we?
We haven't. No, we haven't. We've preferred them at the racecourse. So it was a huge win, and it was like they had to as well. We said a draw was probably slightly. Was it better for Wycombe? It's difficult to look back now and work out, but they now play Stockport, Ben, and I'll just touch on Stockport's result. Stockport went away to Bolton and won, and if Stockport win this game, Ben, they're 3 points off second, and we maybe have a 4-way race for one top 2 place. Where are you going with this? You're up first.
Well, also, let me flash you back to my 21st of January table, because if I were to make that an 18th of January table, which I will do as we are watching, I think you might find Stockport go even higher. Do you know what? The problem I've got with, so last 12 games for Stockport, 27 points, 1 defeat, only Charlton, as we mentioned, and obviously Birmingham are like top of any table you can find anything to do with League One this season. So my concern, I was going to say, is I don't trust Stockport in big games. However, they have literally just played Charlton and Bolton, and they haven't conceded a goal, and they kept clean sheets in both. My contention, just to explain that to the Stockport fans, is Stockport this season have lost to Orient, Lincoln, Wycombe, Birmingham, Stevenage, Huddersfield, Mansfield, Cambridge is a weird one. It feels like in the big head-to-heads, and I mean, I know a lot of people in the comments will say, yeah, well, go figure, Ben. They're a team that's not quite at the top of the table. Those teams lose to the teams that are above them in the table, don't they, generally? I really do think if Wrexham win this, Matt, I think they're big favourites now, because they then play Exeter, Cambridge, Burton, Wigan, Bristol Rovers, Blackpool, and then it's kind of Charlton. It feels like Wrexham, this is the last real test. And is a draw a disaster for Wrexham? I don't know if it is. I'm going to annoy you here, mate. 0-0.
Oh, okay.
Do you see it happening, though?
Yeah. I was so nearly going to write that down earlier when I was prepping these predictions. It's not a scribble, but I have.
Would Dave Challoner or Phil Parkinson not be happy to shake hands? Clean sheet each, no one loses. Yeah. We move on.
It depends how greedy they are. Do you know what I mean? Just if you could snatch it, the difference that could make. But
well, true, yeah.
I've gone for a 1-1, Ben. I've gone for the 1-1, and we've both got the draw. Which I know some people say, you're sitting on the fence. It will be fine margins, even if one team wins, I think, Ben. I don't see one.
Oh, it's ridiculous when people say predicting a draw is sitting on the fence when 1/3 of the games every season or something are drawn. It's, it's sensible, but people like to hear that their team's going to win, don't they, Matt?
That's it, yeah. That's it.
I don't think it's a disaster for Wrexham, do you? I mean, if we're assuming that Wycombe might make up the points tonight.
Well, yeah, exactly. I suppose it'll sort of depend on what happens in that game first. If Rotherham were to get anything, then a draw becomes a lot better for Wrexham as well, doesn't it? I don't even think a draw could be too bad for Stockport either. Obviously, they're the ones catching up, but Not a terrible result for them. I mean, as you said, Ben, Wrexham's fixtures do open up a bit, but they've still got Charlton, which could be massive. And then we said Wycombe have still got Charlton and Stockport. So this top 2 race is going to be really fascinating, isn't it?
Well, we're saying this about Leeds, aren't we? That Leeds have got this lovely card in their pocket that in round 44 in the Championship, they can stick their feet up and know that Burnley or Sheffield United or both are dropping points. Well, if you're a Wrexham fan and you go into final day and you're either level or ahead and you know Wycombe and Stockport are playing each other, mate, that is big. That is high job done likeliness, isn't it? So it's almost like a 45-game shoot, given that I don't know who Wrexham got on the final day. I know we're drilling all this down. And I know we get excited, Matt, about round 46, and it's often done before then, isn't it?
Lincoln away, Ben.
Not they've got Charlton at home. The game before. There's Wrexham's like hard fixture is round 45 after this one. Fascinating stuff, though, isn't it?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. We do want to get your thoughts, not just your predictions on these games, but if you support Wrexham, Wycombe, Charlton or Stockport, where do you see this going? Where do you see this going? That's it, though, guys. Thank you for watching. Get your predictions down below. Be sure to have dropped a like and subscribed to the wonderful Benjamin Bloom, where they can find what on your channel, Ben?
Well, a little bit of a break with the international break. We try and do some like big picture predictions for the last 8 games and whatnot. And then it's just going to go crazy in the Championship, Matt. And I know you're going to be at Sheffield United and Coventry. So loads of stuff going on there. Matt and I will keep talking about the Premier League for the remainder of the season. But we might be talking about that with a view to how things are going to be lining up next season and who might be there and who might not be there. But I'm selling it as ever, aren't I, Matt? Go over, hit subscribe, the Benjamin Bloom football channel.
Yeah, get involved, guys. It is the business end of the season, so there's lots of videos to come, especially after the international break. Subscribe to Benjamin Bloom, subscribe over here, and we will see you next time for League One predictions. Take care. Peace out.